Hello, everybody. It's the magic of technology, and our intro did not play. But welcome to Standout Women Live, the Standout Women Show. I am excited to debut a brand new show, brand new format, all the things today. And today's a very fitting day because it's July 1st, 2024, here in the US. I know our friends overseas, it's already passed, but today's like January 1st, 2.0, the way I always look at it. And what a beautiful day to talk about and reboot and welcome today's guest, who's all about helping us get visible, especially on LinkedIn with live stream. So I want to welcome to the show for the second time my friend and LinkedIn live stream expert, Gillian Whitney.
Woo! I'm excited to be here. This is so fun. And I love lives because anything can and will happen on a live, and you learn to roll with it. And that's actually the fun part of going live. So we'll talk about that too.
Oh, we're going to talk about my first time. But yeah, Gillian is the one back in the fall when I came back as the brand therapist show. She did this amazing, she still does beautiful intro show. And then I said, hey, I'm reformatting everything. So we've been working back and forth the last week to do this little intro clip. And of course, that's the way it rolls, right? The live didn't play, but it's okay. We'll play it again. But the reason why I want to bring you on today, because we've talked about LinkedIn live stream video in our past time together, but you have a new book. Yay.
Yes.
Third book. Let's hold up that baby. Yes, it is. It's called, and I have my digital copy here, LinkedIn Live Guest Mastery. I love the subtitle, Build Your Brand and Attract More Clients. And that's exactly.
I think you whispered that into my brain because I thought of you when I wrote that.
I felt it. I really did. And I'd even say, and even grow more opportunities because, this is your longest book to date. This is your third book.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
I
good.
even want to say third book in a year, right? Like you're pumping these out. So amazing. So this one I was telling her over the weekend, I said, oh my goodness, it's so good. I just finished it. But I really want to play up the angle of how it really skyrockets your visibility, and either from hosting one, but the thing is really from guesting. And when I do publicity training and coaching for my clients, I say publicity PR is it goes hand in hand with personal branding, right? But you kind of need to stair step your courage, your confidence, your context, your message. And podcasting and LinkedIn live streamings are a wonderful way to get started. And let's talk about that today, because first of all, you wrote this book because you saw a real need out there, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think a lot of it came out of our conversation last year. It began to put sort of like those little ideas in my head, because the thing people talk about, what's the easiest way to get started with LinkedIn Live? And it's really not being a host, because I know every time I sit down, and you're a host, so you know this, I'm preaching to the choir with you, but I'm thinking of your audience, and people get this idea of, oh yes, I'd like to have a show, but you're then becoming Oprah Winfrey, but you don't have Oprah Winfrey's like crew. So you're doing everything. You're learning how to use the tech, which sometimes does not behave. You're learning how to use software. You've got to schedule it. You've got to promote it. You have to wear a lot of hats. And I was thinking, how can this be easier? Because I'm all about easy peasy. And being a guest, you just show up and you shine your light. And, there's things you have to do to, of course, prepare to show up. It's not just called winging it, but it's a lot easier. And it's that first step, because better you be the guest on Oprah Winfrey and then decide, I want to be an Oprah too. And then that can be your 2.0, where you decide, I want to have my own show.
And honestly, some people, that it may not even be cracked up for them, their personality, their time, their industry. So, we're going to dive right into this and all the nuggets you shared in this book and some high level stuff. But I mean, you can pretty much make a career out of being a LinkedIn Live guest, a podcast guest, all these ways to really skyrocket that visibility, the credibility, and build that authority. And you talk about this all throughout the book. Hold it up again, because I want everyone to see it. It's so good. Yes, it's so good. And one of the things, before I, get ahead of myself, and I told you this in our DMs, I said, I really love how you gave those suggestions. Like, you've already kind of written the templates on how to reach out, how to even guest, and all the things. So you not only just like empower people, but as I say, you like really educate them with some really actionable stuff. But that's you. That's your brand. The Easy Gillian. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get in real high level. Someone's like, okay, Michelle, Gillian, tell me how to do this. What's the best first step to take?
Well, I think it's always begin with the end in mind for anything that you're doing. So really figure out what you want to accomplish. And, visibility can be good, but it can also be not so good. So you have to start with that perspective of, how do I want to be visible? In what way do I want to be visible? And who do I want to be visible to? And who do I want to be visible with? Because every step of this is so important. And I often say, it's okay to say no to the show, that not every single show is going to be a right fit for you. And people will, isn't visibility visibility? No, not necessarily, because you have to remember with every single guest appearance, whether you're talking about a LinkedIn Live or a podcast, your credibility, your reputation is on the show. So if you pick a show that's a bad fit because maybe you don't have alignment of values with the host, or the audience isn't right, there's so many reasons why a show might not be a good fit for you, that you have to come at it and be very strategic and choose the right shows. And I have said no to the show.
That's so reassuring. That goes back to the way I teach, my process is really building that foundation. And you touch upon that in the book, which is so good. At kind of really knowing who you are, what you want to be known for, your values, and aligning, because you're sitting there talking, and even more so than a podcast, because these are videos. And so you cannot hide the stuff in your face when someone is just going off on a tangent that maybe you don't believe in, know about, all the things. So strategic and intentional is a excellent way to start. And there's so many shows out there. Do you have any kind of data on how many LinkedIn live shows? Is
I
there any
wish
kind of
I did. I
directory?
wish I did. I
Yes.
remember Gabe Leal used to
Yes.
do a LinkedIn Live. It was almost like a TV guide of
Yes.
the LinkedIn Lives. I wish he would do it again. It was wonderful. But I remember when I first saw that, and it was like, wow, there's way more than I knew before. But
Yeah.
a tip is, if you just go to LinkedIn Live, linkedin.com, and you look at events, you'll begin to see audio events and LinkedIn Live events. And I kind of think it's kind of like, when you're a kid and you like look for like red Volkswagen Beetles, it's like you think about it and then you begin to see them. I think that if you just start to say, I'm looking for LinkedIn Lives that I could be a guest on, you will all of a sudden, they'll just appear. You're going to see them. They're just going to be coming at you. And it might be scrolling through the feed. It might be going through, we all have our filters on LinkedIn where we're looking at certain creators. And you might say, wow, Michelle has a show, or Michelle was a guest on a show. So that's what you want to do, is look at shows that you might know of the host. Maybe you don't know them personally, but you know of them, or shows that your colleagues, the people that you follow on LinkedIn that you admire, what are the shows they're on? Because that's way you get that foot in the door, because you don't want to, pick a real estate one and you're talking about, I don't know,
Healthcare or something. Yes.
yes,
Totally
yes,
off. Yes.
it's way off. So you want to make sure that you're kind of at least going in that, right range to begin with.
That's a great tip, and I need to find that link because LinkedIn keeps changing everything. It's kind of hard to find on that side thing. They were hidden in events, but even if you can go into other people's on their profile, that tab thing where it has events, and you just have to do your homework. You've got to do your
Yes.
homework first. You got to know what you want to be known for, who you align with, the message that you want to get out there, and make sure that show is really sticking with that. And then find these people. I think that might be the hardest thing these days with LinkedIn, but finding the shows. And I would even probably suggest making some kind of like you do a media list, put it
Yes.
in a database or something that you can track all your stuff. This is really just treating it like podcast pitching in the best way
Exactly.
possible.
Exactly.
So
And
yeah.
begin and find out what resonates for you. Like I attend LinkedIn Live events. It's not
Mhm.
just about me being the host or me being the guest. I go to other people's shows to watch and network with
Yes.
other people. And that's where I'll sometimes get a feel for, well, that would be a really good show for me, So you begin to kind of get those feelers and go to someone like you, Michelle. I'll just give everybody a tip here. Go to Michelle's media page. It's her speaking page on her website, and you
Mhm.
can see all the different shows that Michelle's been on. Go to my YouTube channel. I have all my guest appearances. Don't
Mhm.
worry so much about watching my appearances. Look at the shows that I've been on, because you might say, "Ooh, that would be good for me." So again, just do your homework.
Yeah, looking for aligned people, aligned shows, and they're out there. And I would do the homework, make a list, because
Yes.
we're being intentional, foundational, and strategic about this, right? That's how we do it. So, absolutely, we know who we are, what we want to stand for, and what we want to talk about. Now we want to know, and we find out the shows that really align for us. Let's talk about the next step, because you walk everyone really detailed, but today's all about high level, so we can really help people take that first step.
So I think the next step is find the right shows and then begin to, first of all, it's always kind of like, make sure your own foundation is right. So you want to
Mhm.
make sure that you're ready to have the host say yes, which means that you want to get all of those ducks in a row before making that application. So a lot of people like you have an actual application where it's
Mhm.
like, Google Doc or something where, tell me what you would want to talk about. Give me some ideas. What are your key topics? What's your experience? Why do you want to be on my show? All those different things. What are your social links? So that way the host can easily figure out, okay, is this person a good fit or not? And it's never, never a personal, I don't like that person. It's
Mhm.
about a good fit. And that works both ways, because it might not be good for the host and it might not be good for you. So I think that's really important. But having that foundation of, if I was to apply to Michelle's show today, do I have my ducks in a row that I could fill out that application form? And a lot of times that's having a speaker bio. Do you
Mhm.
have a photo that you want to show? I just use my LinkedIn one because I want to be seen the same way
Mhm.
everywhere. But other people have beautiful ones that are like professional photographers, with different layouts. Maybe it's them talking on the stage, all sorts of different things. What's your experience? What are some shows that they could look at? Do you have a sizzle reel or a demo
Mhm.
reel that somebody could quickly just scroll through or listen to and say, yes, she knows what she's talking about. She's entertaining. I like her. I like the way that she speaks. I like her cadence, her volume. Nobody wants to get on and, like a million sort of and so
Yes.
you'd be like,
No, I want to make sure you're camera ready, because I have interviewed people in the past when, maybe written or in their posts are dynamic, and nothing personal. It's just they fall kind of flat. And I think it's nothing saying you have to be charismatic. It's just, really just kind of flowing. I think some people, they also need to maybe practice it, because if it's your first time, you could maybe even feel a little, deer in the headlights, and it just people like stage fright, really, truly.
yeah.
And we can talk about some ways to counter that, because I truly believe everyone can, deliver a message. It's just some people, we might have to work a little harder and practice anything, right? So I love that. I love getting really clear. And this thing, I know your LinkedIn Live show is a lot like mine, where we put the shows on our podcast. So I know you are probably getting pitched for your podcast as well. You see that a lot, and a lot of bad pitches, right? A lot of bad
Yes.
pitches.
Yes. And I don't like the agency pitches. And I understand the need for agencies. I know people love to have it where it's like, okay, I'm just going to outsource it. You're just going to go find me a bunch of spots that I can be in. But the thing is agencies always they don't do their homework. They're
No.
just, kind of praying and spraying. Is that the expression? Where they're
Yes.
just shooting out blanket emails, and I can tell they haven't even seen my show, because they'll send me an email that's something along the lines of, we love your podcast and I'd like to pitch my podcast guest. And it's like, I'll write them back and say, mine's a LinkedIn Live show. So unless you're ready to be on a live, this is not the same as a recorded audio podcast.
Or they pitch someone that has absolutely no, like we said earlier, absolutely no relevance to your show or their message, and it's really all about us. And just a news flash: in about 2 weeks on the LinkedIn Branding Show, we have an entire podcast guesting show, do's and don'ts, Michelle and I, and what we
Mm.
see. And we did shout you out because this is a very similar track. What I told you when I said, "Hey, can we come promote your book?" This is so similar to podcast guesting. And I think we even had this initial conversation a long time ago, which, implored you to write the book, which is so good, so helpful. So, yeah, so making sure you fit, knowing that you are ready to be on camera. It's so good to get the message out, but we want to make sure we are ready, and we all can be ready. I'm not saying we can't be, just do a little bit of homework. So,
And
once
even
we're,
if you yeah, and even if you haven't done a live, even if you've just done some videos, I've
yes,
had a lot of newbies. I've had, first time live people, and they've actually come and brought so much excitement and enthusiasm, but they were at least comfortable on video. And I could
yes.
tell from their video clips that this is a person, they know how to look at the camera, they smile, they have good energy. So it's not that you have to be this polished, oh, you've been on 6 shows and
Yes.
NBC and Good Morning America. That's not necessarily true, but you do want to have some sort of video presence and have that feel.
Yeah, so not be a deer in the headlights. Like my guest in 2 weeks, Susan Sabravo, who was a former TV reporter and is now a social media
Mm.
strategist, and she helps people be confident on camera. So she's going to show up and tell us exactly how to do that. So I can't wait. This would be a perfect part two to today because we can all learn. It's a muscle. We can all strengthen it and get it out there because we all have a message. You and I both believe we all have a message that needs to be out there. And so you and I, in our respective ways, are helping people do that. So now that we have all that foundation set, you really dive in the book. It was so good. Step by step, which if you haven't gotten this book yet, go straight to Amazon. We'll put a link in the show notes on how to go get it. It is like the Bible on how to do it. Exactly. Just follow everything you say and you will get on LinkedIn live shows. But I know that you really dive into some areas that people really need to pay attention to, some of the myths and some of the mistakes. So let's high level kind of cover those.
So I think that the most important thing is you had spoken a moment ago, Michelle, about your message. And I think you
Mhm.
have to have clarity about what that message is in terms of your brand. What again, going back to the begin, the end in mind, what are you trying to accomplish with your show? You want to be seen as a thought leader. Now, I could speak on a million different topics, but
Yeah.
what's relevant to what I do as a business is probably the most important. Yes, I want to bring in personal stories, but I don't necessarily want to tell you about, when I was picking weeds at 16 or something like that, because it has nothing to do with anything. So you really have to have that clarity on what is your message. And it can't be about me. It has to be about
Yeah.
what's of value so that I come to your show and I come with what are the tidbits that I can tell people that help them actually get something out of this discussion today. So I think that's really important. And that's narrowing down your
Yeah.
message to those bullets of what are my key topics and what's the appropriate topic for this particular show. So if I'm speaking with maybe a career coach, I want to talk about LinkedIn Live and video, recorded video in the job search space. So I'm not going to start
Mhm.
talking about entrepreneurs. So it's again, always taking your message and then wrapping it within the appropriateness and the relevance for the audience.
That is perfect because I've been on many shows talking about, personal branding for entrepreneurs or in the career space, even though I'm mostly entrepreneurs now, but I'll still show up or, how to, it's basically different lens you're seeing it, but you have the same core expertise and message and talking points. And the more you get, I always like to say, you've probably heard me say this. Specificity sells and clarity compels. So when I know you're very specific on something, that's going to put the antenna up. Oh, we need to get Gillian to talk about LinkedIn live streams. We need to get Michelle to talk about personal branding and PR, you know? So these are the things that the more you drive in that message and narrow lane it, the more you're known for it. And people have recall on it. They can refer you, recommend you, you know, all the things. So I think the more narrow lane you get, and then the beautiful thing, as you just said, you can just, you know, mix and match it, so to speak, with different sister areas, if you will, parallel areas that it still applies. So that is good. So the tighter your message, and you talk about that in the book, which is really, really helpful. So check on that. I was like, yes, this book is so good, Gillian. Like, I was just like, oh, so glad you wrote this book. It was so needed. It's so needed. So
Well,
I
and
just want to shout it.
hopefully that brings a better guest to you in terms of just making your job easier. Somebody
Yes.
showing up and they've done all their homework. You know, literally in the book, I actually say homework for this chapter is, I
Yes.
feel like a bossy teacher telling people what the homework is, but I wanted people to kind of, okay, now do some action. It's not
Yes.
just about consuming, it's about that action. And always, this is, I think, one of the most important things, and I hope I brought this into the book, is why me? Why am I? What's my unique perspective? So, for
Mhm.
instance, I'm the easy peasy lady. That's my
Yes.
watchwords for everything. So, when I talk about doing LinkedIn Lives in a home studio, I'm not going to tell you about having mission control with 7 monitors and, you know, all these different things. I use a laptop, but that's my twist on it. And you could have a guest next week and that person has, like, they do home studios for live people, and that's their business because that's where they shine. So always kind of take it back to your unique human, you know, perspective. Why me? What's my special sauce to coming to this?
That's how you're owning your lane. Yes. Everything's easy peasy, which, you know, you're narrow laned into video, but now you can easy peasy it out to other areas now that you're known. And we've talked about that. So, yeah. So, yeah, if anything, get really clear and honed in on your message because it's going to really skyrocket you on this visibility thing. So, once you're accepted, let's just talk about some key level things because you really dove in and talked about some really good tips about, you know, getting the video, sharing it, making, you know, just expediting it, sharing it for the host, for you. Let's talk about some of those high level things that sometimes people, even those that probably guessed, aren't maybe doing that right now.
I think that so many people are a LinkedIn Live guest and they think they're one and done. So the show is over and they say, thank you, and off they go. And they don't realize that, number one, you really want to form a partnership with the host. And as a way to thank them, what can you do to repurpose this? So whether we're talking about video clips, whether you're talking about a post where all you do is just takeaways of, when I was on the show, we discussed this and this and this. These things help promote the live. And you know, you're all going to come at your different comfort level. Some of us are writers. We're going to write an article and maybe we can
Mhm.
embed some of the snippets. Others of us, we might take a whole reel and put them together and take them off to YouTube or Instagram or whatever. So be in partnership with the host and don't just leave it all on them to, okay, thanks, market this for me and I'll see you and hopefully you'll have me on in another year. It's like, it's teamwork. Teamwork,
It's
everybody
teamwork.
wins. Everybody wins.
Yes, absolutely. I like to say these video shows, even if you're the guest or the host, they're the top of the content food chain. And
Mhm.
you really broke that up really well, even gave some great tools that I love using, Opus, Otter.ai, to really help you. Because I'll be honest, I'm guilty of that too. I need to take more of my shows, the audio and visual, and make it blogs for SEO on my website, and that's a new project I'll be having someone work on for me. But that's one of the things that I've overlooked, just being so busy. But that is certainly a way to be found. Even putting them in LinkedIn articles. The more and more I research, Jillian, the more and more these LinkedIn articles are just coming up top of mind. So you could take your topic, boil out the best parts and make it an article, tag the the host, and you both win. So absolutely. If I almost think that like could be another book in itself. Like there was so
Yes.
much jam packed in that part. Maybe that's number 4 book for you, Jillian.
Yes. Well, and speaking of books, the other thing is that you can take these LinkedIn Live appearances, and when you're a guest, you're talking about your stuff. Like when we're the host, we're sort of interviewing. So sometimes we're talking about ourselves, but a lot of times we're kind of keeping that conversation going, and it's wrapped within our expertise as well. But when you're the guest, it's like you have this content that you might begin to see patterns and themes. And I know that's what I did. I saw patterns and themes with being on shows with career coaches, and I went, what could I do with this? And I took like about 5 LinkedIn Lives and I kind of jumbled them all together. And I made a book about doing video
Yes.
for in your job search. So you might be just going, you know what? I did all these lives on a particular topic. Why can't I bring that together and turn that into a book? Which again, visibility, credibility, and also, paying it forward by taking that knowledge out there.
Yeah, visibility, credibility equals authority is my formula for that. But no, you absolutely do that. And this whole year, as I announced Own Your Lane book, I think I officially announced it February 1st, but I was on LinkedIn Lives and I was starting to really season in the Own Your Lane concept. And so, in fact, I need to reach out to one more host that she forgot to send me the stuff because I was like, I'm saying great stuff. And that's the thing. When you're the guest, you actually have more talk time usually. And you're talking, you and I are both audio writers. You say that in the book or you said it somewhere else that I know you write your book. That's my brain fires faster on audio. So you can take this to write your book that you're planning to write or outline it and then hit some shows and you're doing double publicity and writing at the same time. So we could
Exactly.
go on and on about how incredible LinkedIn Live shows. And I'll be honest, I mean, I started my first one in June 2021. And then I kept them up and I want to give you full props because I think how many years in a row has it been or how many episodes? You're blowing me away
I'm
the
coming I'm
weekly.
coming up to my 200th.
It's
and
incredible.
I have been I think I've been coming up I'm coming up to 3 years, and
Okay.
it's like maybe it's longer. I can't even remember. It was like during COVID, so who knows what
Yeah.
happened in
Probably.
COVID.
Yeah.
But it's been at least 3 years, and it's just every week I keep showing up. And now I'm thinking about doing some changes, because I think we do that, we evolve
Yeah.
and we change, and you own your lane, but also too sometimes you want to go in a different direction with your
Oh,
lane.
absolutely. We're evolving as humans, and I you get more clarity by going out there, and that's exactly what I preach and teach. And I've done that too. So my shows have come on, and then I've tested Clubhouse and audio, but I seem to really always come back to the energy of LinkedIn live shows, either as a host, and also I absolutely love guesting on them. I don't know why. I think it's the energy in the moment. It's much unlike just a regular podcast recording. I don't know. It's just a tremendous way to really share your message and grow your visibility, build that brand and authority. And so I want to raise the book again. I just want to highly recommend, we'll put a link in the show notes in the comments. If you have not checked out this book, you're interested in really ramping up your publicity or visibility, even like as authors, you and I work with authors. If you have a book, new book, or even a book that, I always say the baby is born, the book baby, it doesn't stop here. These LinkedIn live streams are a wonderful way to get in front of the right audiences. And again, as we've said here, so much content. So, Gillian, as we end our time here today, which always goes too fast, I like to have an actionable takeaway for those who want to get started guesting on LinkedIn live streams. What would you say is your first that you didn't cover already? What would you suggest people do?
Boy, I think the first one would really just be, finding the right shows for you, and just setting that intention. I want to do this. I want to do this. And I've always found, write it down, make it happen. So
Yes.
make that commitment that I would like I literally ask I know this is woo woo, but ask the universe, I want
Yes.
to do this. I want to do a LinkedIn live, because when we set that intention, miracles happen. Things will
Mhm.
come to you, and you'll begin to say, I didn't even see this. When we start looking for things, it's kind of going back to the red Volkswagen. We see it out there. So make that intention, and also to believe in yourself. That's the
Yes.
biggest thing. it's not been said by everyone because it hasn't been said by you. And
Yes.
your competitors, your competition, they're out there, they're doing podcasts and LinkedIn Live. It's time for you to be seen. So let your light shine. Believe that you can do it. Find the right host that will be warm and friendly and help you. And just, if you need help, you got someone here that can coach you and get you through this. But anybody can do this. Believe in yourself. You need to get that
Oh,
message out there.
so well said. You and I are so aligned on everything, and that's why I close every show with put yourself out there because it truly is. And we've walked you through today. So where can others find more about you, Gillian, if they want to check out you, your book and everything?
LinkedIn. That's my number one place. Go to LinkedIn, Gillian Whitney. You can't miss me. Otherwise, videoeasypeasy.com. You can't miss that website. It's just so darn easy. And you can find me there as well. But that's the best way to just meet me on LinkedIn. And if you tell me you saw me in this show, I will connect with you. So please.
Awesome. Yeah, I always love context when we introduce people. You don't just walk up blindly, right? Just
Yes.
context. So you can start conversations. And then I'm sure your books are linked to your newsletter, excuse me, your profile and your website and all the places. And you can go check out Gillian Whitney books as in plural because you're like not even a year into it. She's gotten 3 books. You are on fire. I'm sure you just will continue to add to that. But thank you so much again for being an amazing guest on the show, sharing your wisdom and your empathy and just your empowerment to get out there on video. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so glad I was here. Thank you, Michelle.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Keep putting yourself out there. You have a brand to build, a business to grow, and people to impact. I'll catch you next time. Take care.